My name is Bob Holmes. I'm a certified public accountant and I'm from Kansas. And I got introduced to the LRH admin tech through a client of mine, happens to be a physical therapist. And Survival Strategies works with a lot of physical therapists and really helps them to grow their practice through the use of the admin tech. But I found out that I could use it in my own business, and I've been very successful in growing my practice and using the same principles that they use to grow their physical therapy practices. The first thing that I did was to put order in. And by that I mean I had a practice and I did a lot of different things, and as I described it, I had all these pieces laying around. I had technology, I had financial planning, I had accounting, I had tax. And I would look around some days and say, why in the world do I have all these pieces? What am I doing with all this stuff? And the very first program that I did was called Scale of Administration. And what it helped me do, or forced me to do, was to sit down and look at all these different things that I'd put together and assemble them in an orderly fashion and create a plan to go forward with it. That has stuck with me. I did that almost 10 years ago now, and I think about it every day. So it just kind of gave me a direction to say, this direction, not so much that direction. And you know, there's an old saying, if you don't know where you're going, then any road will get you there. I was doing that for quite a while. So just that very first program was so important to me. They're great people, and they really can help you identify what you need to do. The best example that I can think of right off the top of my head is my experience with Harvey. I'm an accountant. I never believed in PR and marketing. I thought that was just an unnecessary cost. We don't need that, right? And working with Harvey, he really taught me what the terms PR and marketing and sales really were. And they were completely different than what I thought. And when I understood, that's like, yeah, I think I need to be doing this. Tell me more, Harv. So in anything that we've done, we've always learned. The financial planning program we did was survival. And the first thought I had was, how am I going to get my staff to go, oh, yes, we're going to. Well, as a matter of fact, they did. And we still use that in our day-to-day operations. It's been very helpful. And again, seeing the principles that are there, the basic principles, it helped me to clarify my own accounting knowledge. That, you know, it all comes down to some basics, and if you don't have them, you're not going to be successful. If you do have them and you can apply them, you can do very, very well. If it doesn't make sense, anything that you've heard, if it doesn't make sense, it's not L. Ron Hubbard. He's the most logical writer that I've never met the man, but everything that I've read of his makes logical sense. So if it doesn't make sense, then it's not something L. Ron Hubbard put out there. That's the way I feel about it. Probably the biggest thing that I learned was that things in this universe are based on simple truths. And that when you look at something and you look at it and you go, oh, it is way so complex, like tax law. Oh my gosh, it's so complex. I can't ever figure it out. What were they thinking? If you understand really the purpose of taxation and the underlying economics, tax law is really pretty easy to figure out. So it's being able to find the basic truth in what you're looking at and what you're doing, and then, you know, expand on it from there. And there was some tapes that Mr. Hubbard put out on truth, and it just described it to a T. And I was like, when I listened to those, I just went, oh my gosh, this just clears up so many things. So when I look at something, I always look for the basic truths, or the basic, you know, what's really here and what's the most important thing. And once you see that, then, you know, however you want to interact with that activity or whatever, it becomes so easy because you know what's there. If you don't know, then you're just shooting in the dark, kind of like my admin scale, right?